गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. We are in Katha Upanishad chapter 2 part 1 or part 1 or section 4 different ways. There's total 6 sections are there. This is the 4th section or chapter 2 first part, and we have seen paranchi khani vetrunat swayambhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman kaschid dhira pratyagatma namaikshata avrutas chakshur amrutattvamichan. This was the first verse, and here the Bhashyakar or Yamraj is calling out for a inner vision. He's inspiring the student to go deep within and transform his vision, and and what will happen by doing that? He will come to recognize the one without a second principle. He will come to be one with the universal principle, which is none other than the self that he is, the Atman. This is the purpose. And here, in the first verse itself, in the second part, he is saying that that the Brahman, he as if cursed or inflicted the senses to go out, and thus and that is their nature. Eyes are not looking inside, they are looking outside. All the 5 senses. Mind is also thinking about what? All the stimuli. And in this way the man the man gets lost in the external world, thinking that it is real, and wants to acquire it, possess it, relate to it, identify with it, and so on and so forth. But there are in this world certain men, the wise men, who completely do the opposite, and they want to know that what is that substratum, what is that foundation on which I am existing as well as the world is existing. See, our scriptures, they are not against. Don't think that meditation is only by closing the eyes and then you can meditate. Our scriptures are not against inside and outside. It is not in versus out. It is not introvertedness versus extrovertedness. There is no versus. There is no opposites. Atman is that which is beyond all the opposites. So if Atman is available inside, within, it is also available without, because it is the one which has become everything. See, as much as water is inside the wave, as much water is outside the wave also. The other waves are also made up of water only. Question is, where is our focus? Are we at the sensory level or are we at the substratum level? So the wise men, what do? That they turn their senses inwards, means they deny the world of name and form and variety, and they try to come to the principle that that is the foundation, that is the substratum of everything, and thus he is able to avrita chakshu amrutatvam icchan, and they do this with the desire to know, to be immortal, or to know the immortal, desirous of knowing the immortal principle. Having said that, we talked about this. Paracha kaman anuyanti balaha te mrityoryanti vitatasya pasham adhadhira amrutatvam viditva dhruvam udhruveshviha na prarthayante. Here in this verse, the non-discriminative person and the discriminative person, characteristics of such a person were given. See, you think about it in this way. The will of, when we throw a stone in a deep water, one Mahatma has said this, if we throw a stone in a deep water, how deep will the disturbance happen? Quite deep, isn't it? Wherever the stone is going, there is a disturbance. But as that disturbance comes out, the ripples are created and that disturbance is coming towards the periphery. Is the disturbance deep enough? Is the effect of it deep enough? No, it is shallower and shallower. Exactly the same way, the will of the divine is that stone that he has. So one thought, so kamayata bhavusyam prajayam, he desired to be many. See, so the first will, so in the first wave, he is knowing everything, who he is, what he is, where he is, that he is the master of everything. But just like that ripple, it becomes weaker and weaker as it goes away from the center of its, what is that called? From the point of its origin. Yes. Same way, the will of the Lord, when it is at the point of origin, it is complete, it is pure, it is Satya Sankalpa. But as it is moving outwards, then what is outwards? Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. There also it is quite each one knows its role. What is further out than Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh? The Devatas. Are they equal to Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh? No. They are less. Are they made up of the same material as the divine? Yes. Then why are they not able to recognize the divine? Because they are further away from the center. Come further away, come into the human beings. Is that same reality, the same divinity expressing through the human being? Yes. Does the individual have even a glimpse like that of the gods? No. Further away, the will, as if, don't forget this word. The power of the ripple, when it is closest to the point of origin, is strong. And as it moves away from the point of origin, it becomes weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker, and eventually it merges back into its source. Isn't it? That is our experience. That is our observation also. So it comes to the individual, it is even weaker. Then from here it goes further out. It goes to the animal kingdom, it goes to where it is even weaker. Then it goes to the plant kingdom, it is even weaker. What potential was there in Ishvara? What potential? Is it the same as Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh? Is the potential of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh same as the potential of all the Devatas? Is the potential of the Devatas the same as the potential of the, or is the potential of the individual the same as the potential of Devatas? Is the potential of the animal the same as the potential of the human beings? Can they discriminate? Can they search for truth? Can they meditate? Then we go further, because consciousness is becoming weaker and weaker. Existence is common, but consciousness, expression of consciousness is becoming weaker. The power of the ripple is becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. And eventually it comes to the plant kingdom, it is even weaker. They can't even move. And in the inert objects of the world, the conscious is not even manifesting. It has become so grossified. It has become so weak. You understand this example? So, if we contemplate on the center, or we contemplate on the origin of the ripple, then there is a possibility we'll come to access that potential, come to access that, to be that divinity. You are the one. You are that point of origin is the Atman. The point of origin is the water. Water is not somewhere far away. Water is not somewhere inside or outside. Everything is water. The ocean is also water, the wave is also water, the ripple is also water, the bubbles are also water, the variety of waves that you are seeing on the water is water only. Do we have that vision to see the world that everything is nothing but that Satchidanand Swarup? The divine has that vision. Do we have that, or we are still stuck in differences? See, this is the difference between a Viveki and the Aviveki. A Viveki, he focuses on the variety. He wants spice of life. He wants to do this, achieve that, possess this, relate to that, identify with that object of the world, person in the world. Create a meaningful relationship. No relationship can be meaningful other than relationship with the self that you are. That is the only meaningful, and that also is not a relationship. But relatively speaking, we use that language. You see? So so here it says that the ignorant, the aviveki, he pursues the world of names and forms. Paracha kaman anuyanti bala. Like a child, he keeps running after the forms of the world. What does a child do when he looks at a toy? He looks at it, he tries to see what sound it makes, then he tastes, then he smells, then he breaks it apart. We are also curious about the world, but there is a difference between our curiosity and Dhira Purusha curiosity. Our curiosity is, what is this? This is the play of Maya. It is making the one appear as many. That is the Maya. We are not here to work out Maya. Nobody has been able to work it out till today. Then what are we here? A ignorant person looks at the world and wants to possess it, desire it, as I said, relate to it, etc., etc. Whereas a dhir purusha, a viveki person, a discriminative person, he wants to know, hey, I exist, this also exists. What is this existence? The viveki person looks at the world, he says, who knows this world? I know this world. I means who? Oh, my eyes see this world. But I see my eyes also. Who knows the eyes? Oh, mind sees the eyes. Who knows the mind? I know the mind. Who I understand that I am seeing. Where is this understanding? In the intellect. Can intellect understand by itself, or there has to be an understander behind it? So who is that understander? Their attention is on that principle, which is common, that one I, that one Atman alone has become the material of the universe, and that one Atman alone has become the knower of the material. Their attention is on that. By dividing their attention in the variety of the world, the focus, the steadiness, the single pointedness will never come. So, as I was telling before, that our scriptures, Vedanta, does not differentiate between inside and outside. Everything is ekameva dvitiya nanasti kinchana. Everything is one. Now, as a seeker, where is your attention? Is your attention on the seer of the world? Is your attention on the consciousness which is one without a second? Om Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha. That it is the same consciousness that I am, which is expressing in and through everyone? Or is your attention at the name, form, smell, taste, which is at the sensory level? This is the difference. You have also heard this many times, but have we made the shift in our attention? Or are we, the moment the lecture is over, we are back to our default settings? Something to ponder upon. Last week we came to this third verse. Yad Vijnanan न किंचिद अन्यत प्रार्थयन्ते ब्राह्मणाः कथम तद अधिगम इति उच्यते. Those brahmanas, those seekers of the truth, those wise men, by knowing which, or by seeking which, by desiring which, they do not seek the external world. They do not seek any object, person, or pursue it, or have a desire for it. That one, that knowledge of that, what is that? That is the Brahman. How do they come to know it? That is going to be told now in the third, fourth, and fifth verse. See. येन रूपं रसं गन्धं येन रूपं रसं गन्धं शब्दान् स्पर्शांश्च मैथुनान् शब्दान् स्पर्शांश्च मैथुनान् एतेनैव विजानाति एतेनैव विजानाति किमत्र परिशिष्यते किमत्र परिशिष्यते एतद्वै तत् एतद्वै तत्. Together, येन रूपं रसं गन्धं शब्दान् स्पर्शांश्च मैथुनान् एतेनैव विजानाति किमत्र परिशिष्यते एतद्वै तत्. He says, Yena Rupam Rasam Gandham. I think in the last part of the first verse, I already answered this question. The topic is in this verse. The answer is given here. So, that Atman, because of which, Yena, what does he do? Rupam rasam gandham shabdan sparshanscha maithunan ete naiva vijanati. What is that because of which he is able to know the form, the taste, the smell, the words, the touch, and the identification, the desire. Maithunan means desire, to identify with something or someone. And don't take it in the negative sense. It's only Maithunan is only with a sexual angle. No, you are identified with your body. That is also Maithunan. It's the principle. See, becoming one with. So here he says, and you can take it like in the as a Maithunan as the sexual joys also, but in the larger perspective, it is identification with everything. Why do we run after the world? Achha, let me finish this, then I'll tell you. Then I'm getting distracted. Ete naiva vijanati kimatra parishishyate. And and what is eteneva vijanati? Is there anything in this creation that is not known to the Atman? So, coming to this conclusion that Atman is the know-all of the knower, of all. Etad vaitata, this is that. This Atman is that Brahman, is that all-pervasive principle, is that which is the one without a second, is that which has become the material cause and the efficient cause. And that I am. Don't forget that part. So, in other words, whenever last week I said that etad vaitad comes, tata comes when a conclusion is being come to, and Nachiketa, whatever question you asked, adharma, dharmat, adharmat, krita, kritat, what is that which is beyond dharma, adharma, etc. This is that. What is that? Atman. What is that which is the material and the efficient cause? Just as water is everything, it is the ocean, the wave, the inside, the outside, the variety, everything is water. Do you ever, for a moment, spend time contemplating that of the possibility that you, the conscious principle, are all that there is? There's no answer to it. But do you sit with that thought and lose yourself? This is the meditation in this verse. We'll look at the Bhashya. येन विज्ञान स्वभावेन आत्मना रूपं रसं गंधं शब्दान् स्पर्शांश्च मैथुननं मैथुन निमित्तान् सुखप्रत्ययान् विजानाति विस्पष्टं जानाति सर्वः लोकः. The entire cosmos, the entire creation, the entire Jagat, uh, which is that entire world which is known through the the five senses and the mind is known not only through the senses, but it is known. Senses cannot know themselves. There is a knower behind. Is known that Atma. The one who knows all this, he itself is Brahman. See, this is the point that I wanted to make before. I was waiting for this point, and that is, why are we attracted towards the forms? Why are we attracted towards the people? Why? Because everything is made up of that same material. The Atman, the reality. When you are running after a lover, or you are running after an ice cream, or running after a pizza, or running after a house, or whatever, are we running after actually everything? The runner and what you are running after is made up of the same material. But where is our attention when we are running after something or desiring something? Our attention is not on the essence. Our attention is on the Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Sparsha, etc., etc. In the dream, our attention, we are running after the imagination. It is a natural. Either you have to run within or you have to run without. But when you run outside, only after the name and form, which exists in its own absence, are you going to achieve anything? Simple analysis. Are we going to achieve anything? Are we going to get the satisfaction? Before the class, I went to the kitchen. I had something to eat because I was hungry. Oh, everything is Atman, Brahma Arpanam Brahmavi. I did that and came back. For how long? What was the attention on? Was it on Brahma Arpanam Brahmavi, Brahmagnau Brahmana Hutam? Everything is Brahman. The hand is Brahman, the food is Brahman, the mouth is Brahman, the digestion is Brahman. But is my attention on Brahman? Or my attention is on the bhakri and the sabji which I have to eat? Very nice, very tasty, blah 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 blah. And for how long? I enjoyed it. Had the anand, but for how long? Tomorrow morning again, the desire for food will be there. Again there will be desire. So it is not a permanent anand that we experienced. Even though the material that has gone into making that object that you desired and the desirer are one and the same, and yet we are not satisfied. Isn't that a foolish way to live? The wise are living in the same world, but they are satisfied. We are living in the same world, we are not satisfied. Then how do we shift this? How do we turn it around on its own, so that it's beneficial? Our attention must shift to the all-encompassing principle, the Atman. See? There is no part of the ornament which is not pervaded by gold. There is no part of pot which is not pervaded by mud. If you remove the mud, there is no pot. If you remove the gold, there is no ornament. If you remove the water, there is no ocean or wave. What is that you remove from yourself? Because you are conscious. Understand, this laptop is not conscious. Remember the ripple? It was becoming weaker and weaker. In the laptop, the ripple has become so weak that only existence is expressing, Chit and Anand are not expressing. So what is that? Can the eyes come to know the laptop if the seer is not there? Can the ears hear the lecture if the hearer is not there? So who is this conscious principle? Right now you seek it within, with the benefit of doubt that it is one without a second, that it alone is the material that has gone into making the creation. And why then one water is appearing as many, is called as many waves? That is the work of Maya. Why is one mud called many pots? That is the work of Maya. Why one woman functions as mother, daughter, that is the work of Maya. Don't try to work that out. No solution. Now objection is raised. Nanu na evam prasiddhir lokasya atmana dehadi vilakshanena aham vijanamiti dehadi sanghato ham vijanamiti tu sarvo loko vagacchati. The doubt presented by the student is, this is Shankaracharya thinking loudly. Yamaraj has not been questioned by Nachiketa. He is finding that these could be the possible doubts when we look at this verse in this particular manner. And the student says, if I know through the self which is direct, which is distinct from the body, etc., is not familiar to anyone, I am seen as the combination of the two, consciousness and matter, by others. I consider myself also consciousness and matter, isn't it? Or do you consider yourself only as consciousness, the Atman? So there, but the objection, but nanu evam na evam prasiddhir lokasya atmana dehadi vilakshana aham vijanamiti, that there is no one in this, there is no one well known in this world that I know anyone who is other than body. I never come across anyone who is other than body. I pray to God, but I have never seen God. Have you seen God? Oh, God gave me darshan in my meditation. Now where is he? Gone. Oh, husband also gives darshan and then goes away. Ornament also gives darshan and goes away. The sun also gives darshan every day and goes away. See? So the student is saying, I have not come across anyone, or in my own experience, I have not seen anyone who is other than the body. I know the consciousness only because it is expressing through a body. देहादि संघातः अहम विजानामीति तु सर्वो लोको गच्छति. Everyone considers this comes to this conclusion, considers this, that I am a admixture of consciousness and matter. I am a conglomeration of the various, the various, the bones, the etc., and the senses, everything, malamutradi, and this, what is that? Bone marrow, tissue, phlegm, urine, fecal matter, senses, mind, intellect, all these put together, plus the consciousness is me. This is what everyone knows me as. This is what I know myself as also. And I know only everything only because I as this admixture. Whatever knowledge I have only through the body. See, continuing. न त्वेवम्. The teacher says, but this is not so. Then what is it? Dehadi sanghatasyapi देहादि संघातस्य अपि शब्दादि स्वरूपत्व अविशेषाद् विज्ञेयत्वा अविशेषाच्च न युक्तं विज्ञातृत्वम्. It is not so, my dear. It is not so because that all the aggregate of what does he say here? The aggregate of body etc. is substantially indistinguishable from knowable objects like sound etc. and hence it too is equally knowable. Just as everyone knows you, you know everyone. His attention is where? On this person that he is, which is a mixture of consciousness and matter. But he is not looking further. His attention is on the object. As much as he is the observer of the world and other bodies, are we not the observer of this body also? Are we not the observer of the eyes also, the senses also? Don't I know that I have the there are five senses? Don't I know that there are thoughts in the mind? Don't we know that there is clarity or unclarity? Don't we know that we have these convictions and we don't have those convictions? So take it further. Therefore, so the conclusion that you have come to is not a correct one. यदि हि देहादि संघातः रूपाद्यात्मकः सन् रूपादीन् विजानीयाद बाह्या अपि रूपाद अन्योन्योन्यम स्वम स्वम रूपंच विजानीयुः. So if one, even though he is a admixture of all the senses and mind and all the instruments put together, even though you are functioning as the body, through the body, and you come to know that here he says, then it will become a, if everything is a knowable, he is going in a bit a different angle. He is saying if everything is knowable, if consciousness is not separate to body, if you take that position that everything is one, I don't experience myself separate to the body, then eyes will see other eyes and they will come, they will have the knowledge of another person, of the another form. Ears will be hearing another other person's sound. Each sense will know everything. Each mind will know other minds. Then where is your position then? See, if I cut my hand and put it on the ground, can that hand go and grab something? If I cut my ear and put it down on the table, can that hear something? If I take my eye and keep it on the table, can that eyeball see something? Can it? No. Then what is missing? What is missing? This is, so here, this basis that we are this body and only through body we can come to know. Only through this body we can come to know, only through this senses. No, the eyes are seeing, the ears are hearing, the mind is thinking. And we identified with these and we say, and we don't see that there is a consciousness, that you are the one who are the knower of the fact that eyes are able to perceive the forms, the ear is able to perceive the sounds, the mind is able to think the thoughts. You are the thinker behind. Behind the eyes, you are the seer. Eyes themselves cannot be the seer. They are illuminating the objects, but they cannot be the seer. Because eyes are not conscious. So five senses, yes, they are interacting with the stimuli, but they are not conscious. The conscious principle is someone else, because we just gave you the example. If the eye is taken out, if the ear is taken out, if the hand is cut, they are unable to function. See? So what is that? Here the teacher is slowly, Adi Shankaracharya is bringing our attention that don't live in this fanciful imagination that body is all that there is, senses are all that there is. Accept yourself. Let's see what he says afterwards. So he comes to know everything. He comes to know the world. He comes to know the five senses. He comes to know the mind. He comes to understand at the intellect level, all because there is a Atma behind, there is a self behind. Without that self, all these faculties cannot function. And this we see in a dead person. When the dead person is gone, the person consciousness has stopped expressing, manifesting through the body. the senses, the mind, the breath, the intellect, the mind, everything stops functioning, isn't it? And if, understand this now, I don't know if he's taking that point here anywhere. If before the physical event of called death, death is a principle. Every moment death is taking place. But if we remain attached to this body as I, and then one day the I stops, the consciousness stops manifesting from this body, and you have not sorted out the attachment from the body, then you know what such a person is called? Who leaves the body and still is identified with the body? He is called ghost, pret. So who is identified with the body? The ego is identified with the body. Where is the body? It's existing in its own absence. So you are a pret. You are a ghost. Sort this out in this life. Finish it off. Come to be the substratum. No more shunting around. No more birth, rebirth. No axe to grind in this world. Know that you are the world. For that, we have to come, our attention has to come to the substratum and not on the changing names and forms. Our attention has to come to the constant. Whether that constant is when your eyes close, you be the constant, or when your eyes open, let the eyes look, but you remain as the constant. Your attention is on the constant principle called existence, expressing through all the names and forms. Your attention is on the center. Remember, the will of the divine at the center was the most powerful, and on the periphery it's weaker and weaker and weaker. So where is our attention? Is our attention on the periphery? No, it's not even here, it's gone out. The wave can close its eyes. I don't want to be disturbed by other waves. Who am I? Dive in. It finds it is the water, but it can't keep the eyes closed all the time. But it must come to this conviction that the material which has gone into making all other waves is also water. I don't have the vision yet. But what would it be if the scriptures are saying it? It must be true. If Mahatmas are saying it must be true. Therefore, wise men are not disturbed. They are not there to change the world. They are not there to improve the world. They neither run after the world nor they run away from the world. Who? The Mahatmas. They are where they are, established in being the constant, in being the Atman. That is what we have to learn from watching the being in the presence of Mahatmas, or reading about their life stories, or coming across the scriptures which are talking about such evolved beings who are very, very much in this world today also. That potential is there in you, every one of us. What do we do with this information? You're listening, it's information coming to you. But are you able to intuit that what is being talked about is me itself? Or is it just information? Feel good. Take a peg, feel good, afterwards again a peg. A long peg in the retreat. We'll get drunk. Then we'll have to, again we come out into the world. Again that drunkenness goes away. अबे यार फिर से एक और retreat चाहिए स्वामी जी. It should not be that way. Whether we are in the retreat, whether we are in a satsang, or we are out there in the world, our connection with ourselves must not be broken. Yes, in satsang it becomes possible for us to be connected if we are available. Now continue that. How do you continue that in the outside world? By remaining connected to yourself, by being attentive that you are that one. Allow the roles to be played. Allow activities to happen, but you don't dilute yourself. You don't become mother, daughter, sister. You continue to remain as the conscious principle, as the Atman. Then automatically everything will change. The way you speak will change, the way you respond will change, things will change. That you have to go through. That challenge you'll have to go through. See. विज्ञान स्वभावेन आत्मना विजानाति लोकः. He comes to know by his own nature, which is the Atma. यथा येन लोहो दहति सोऽग्नि रीति तद्वत्. That because of which an iron burns, we call that as fire. Similarly, that because of which the world comes to know, or the beings come to know the various objects of experience, we call it as Atma. Are you seeing the fire in the iron? Are you seeing the fire in the hot iron? No. But you touch the iron, it will burn. So what burned you? Oh, the hot iron. What is that hot? Heat. Where did the heat come? Fire. But I don't see any fire. I'm seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, thinking, understanding. How is it happening? Because of Atman. I'm not seeing Atman, I'm only seeing the variety of the world. Same way. You are not seeing the fire, but you are getting burned. You are feeling the heat. So what is that because of which all the instruments are able to become enthused? And in a dead person, they are not enthused, they are not functional. That is the Atman. And that I am. Etadvaitata. Tadvata. It is so. Is that so? That is called as Atman. आत्मनः अविज्ञेयं किमत्र अस्मिन् लोके परिशिष्यते न किंचित परिशिष्यते. आत्मना अविज्ञेयं किमित्र अस्मिन् लोके परिशिष्यते न किंचित परिशिष्यते. That Atman, or we can say that Atma, because of, is there anything in this world because which the Atma cannot come to know? No, everything is known by Atma alone. Is there any object in the world which is not known by the Atman? Is there anything left in the world that is not known by the Atman? In other words, it's a passive sentence. In fact, there is nothing in this world which is not known by the Atman. Everything is known only by the Atman. And understand, when we say everything is known, what is the world? Known and unknown. Isn't it? Manifestation and unmanifestation is the world. Don't forget that what world is. Don't think world is only seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting. That is only very limited. If you want to take it, oh, that is okay, but take it here. What? When you are awake, there is Atman. But when you shift from waking to dream, in the dream also there is Atman, because you know that you dreamed. Then you went to sleep. In sleep also there is Atman, because you know you had a good sleep. Between the two states, between waking and dream, and between dream and sleep, and between sleep and waking, also there is Atman in the juncture. Just as I know I am saying this. I, gap, no, gap, I, gap, am, gap, saying, gap, this. My attention is on the sentence. I repeated it. I know I am saying this. But even between the two words where there was nothing, there was not nothing, I was there. I cannot say that I was not present, because I know. In the absence also I am, in the presence also I am. In the manifestation of the thought I am, in the unmanifestation of thought also I am. Isn't that your direct experience at this moment? This is meditation. Contemplate in this manner. Because remember, third, fourth, fifth are ways to come to be that. Are triggers to meditation. Triggers to being that all pervading principle, which is one without a second. See how wonderful it is. Sarvameva tvatmana vigneyam. Everything is known by the Atma, by the self alone, by the Atma alone. Nothing is unknown to the Atman. You may say, I don't know America, I don't know this, I don't know that. Because your attention is outside. Come to be the Atman, you will come to know everything. Come to know everything. Nowadays there is one great, very evolved person called Bageshwar Dham, Dhirendra Shastri. 26 years old. He is a Hanuman Bhakt and he is a disciple of Sannyasi Baba. And from childhood he has been graced that he can come to know everything. Before people come to him, they ask the question, he has already written their questions, and he gives them answers also. He says, I am not a sannyasi, I am not a Mahatma, I am just like you and me, but by the grace of my Guru and the blessings of Hanumanji, whenever I have any, if I think about you, they bless me with the information. And I have no doubt, remember one thing, I have no doubt as to what comes out is their blessing. In that I don't interfere. Higher consciousness, isn't it? Just like a mother comes to know whether the child is crying because of hunger or because of wet nappy or because of thirst or because whatever, mother becomes intuitively aware. Just like a person sitting on a tree can come to see far, and a person standing on at the base of the tree, he can't see very far. And he prays, hey Bhagwan, hey Hanumanji, please, it's getting dark and this area is very fearsome. Please send me some vehicle so that I can reach the nearest village. And the Mahatma heard the prayer who was sitting up on the tree. He says, Tathastu, in 15 minutes one bullock cart will come. It is dark. The person at the bottom of the tree cannot see the person sitting on the top of the tree. What does he say? Oh, thank God, thank you Bhagwan, thank you. And 15 minutes later the bullock cart comes and the word spreads that there is a Mahatma on the tree. The tree answered solved their problem. Or God, then because they have not seen the person, they say, oh God, tree is the God. It's okay. So what is the vision? The person at the ground level could not see far. The person on the top of the tree could see far. Is it a siddhi? Or is it a matter of fact that his vision is expanded as compared to the one on the ground level? So where are we sitting? Are we sitting identified with the body, or we have transcended the body? Are we sitting in the waking as the waker, or we are sitting in ourselves as the witness of the waker, dreamer and sleeper? When we are moving in the world, are we sitting in the roles that we are playing, or are we sitting as the person that we originally are and allow and watching the roles come and go? See? So do yourself a favor. Come to the all-consuming consciousness that you are. That possibility is in this life. I keep repeating it. I'm not repeating it to you, I'm repeating it to my mind. That possibility is there. That is our true nature. Not limited expansion, no, infinite expansion. Self is by nature infinite. Anyway, sarvameva tvatmana vigneyam yasya atmanaha avigneyam na kinchit parishishyate sa atma sarvajnaha. In this way, by this Atma, nothing is remain unknown. That Atma is all-knowing principle, is the all-knowing principle, Sarvajna. Saha Atma Sarvajnaha. that Atma for whom nothing is unknowable, that Atma is called the all-knowing principle. And that I am. Don't forget, again I have to keep reminding. That I am. That is not written here. It is not written here, but I am saying it so that we remain subjective. Atma is all-knowing. This is not good enough to repeat like a parrot. Or Swamiji gives it comes somewhere in some, I don't know which part of which scripture it comes in, but Swamiji uses it quite often. Once a bird, a mother and father bird, they had a lot of chicks, and the chicks were given, just like you train your children, they were also training their children. That what is the training? The hunter will come, he will spread the net, and he will catch the bird. Do not jump into the net even if the seeds are there, because if you take the seeds after he spreads the net, you will get entangled in the net, and he will collect the net along with you and walk away. And the parents said it, the children repeated it, and they kept repeating, and the hunter came, spread the net, threw the seeds, and they came to eat, and they got caught and were taken away. We are like that. We are repeating Upanishads, we are repeating the satsang again and again. I am the Atman, I am the Atman. Bole ja rahe hain. Don't get caught in the world, don't get caught in the world. Don't get identified with the body, don't get identified. And what do we do? Exactly the same thing. See? So that Atma is Sarvajna, and that is that, this is that, Etad Vaitata. Who is this Etad Vaitata? Sa Atma Sarvajnah Etad Vaitata. Kim tadyat nachiketasa prushtam devadhivirapi विचिकित्सं धर्मादिभ्यः अन्यद् विष्णोः परमं पदं यस्मात् परं नास्ति तद्वा एतद् अधिगतम् इति अर्थः. He says, so here Yamraj is saying, what is he saying? Kim tadyat nachiketasa prishtam. Prishtam means the question that you asked, anyatra dharmat, anyatra dharmat, adharmat, krita kritacha. He asked that question, what is that which is beyond dharma? Dharma, the topic about which you had asked, which was a doubt even of all the gods, all the devatas, and vichikitsam, and that which is dharmadibhyo anyad, dharmadibhyo dharma, adharma, dharma, which is other than dharma and adharma, and which is even the source of what? Anyad Vishnoho paramam padam, and which is the source of the Vishnu himself. And paramam padam yasmat param na asti, and there is nothing greater than that. So what is this principle? This is that what Saha Atma Sarvajnaha. The Atma is the all-knowing principle. This is that which you asked, which is other than dharma, adharma, which is the source of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and there is and there is nothing beyond it. It is the causeless. There is no cause of it. Etad adhigatam iti artah. There is nothing else greater than it, and this is that Brahman, this is that Brahmapada. Know it in this manner. See, fascinating, isn't it? How one line, two lines of the scripture. Where are we? Two lines. Yena rupam rasam gandham shabdan sparshanscha maithunan etenaiva vijanati kimatra parishishyate etadvaitata. Just these few words, how much Adi Shankaracharya has the ability to expand. And why is he able to do it? Because he wants us to understand. The diktat for him was the direction given to him by Maharishi Vedvyas when he was 16 years old. According to the Bhavishyavani, according to the astrology, he was supposed to physically conclude his life at age 16. So he had gone to Badrinath and slowly withdraw, waiting for the death to come. But who came? Maharishi Vedyas. You seem to be a bright person. What are you doing here? I am waiting for death. Go. What have you done till now? I've done this. Okay. Till now you lived for yourself, preparing for death. Now you live for the world. Without the Ashirwad, without the blessings of Guru, these extraordinary feats cannot happen. You look at sometimes on the YouTube Bageshwar Dham. He clearly says, my teacher, Sannyas Baba, my Ishta, Hanumanji. It is by their grace this all is happening. See, are we surrendered to our Guru Maharaj like this Dhirendra Shastri is? Are we surrendered to our Ishta, be it Krishna, Rama, Hanuman, Mahadev, whoever? Are we surrendered to the Lord in this manner, like this 26-year-old? That he has become empty and only his Guru and Hanumanji are functioning. And Hanumanji used to express through his teacher, his Guru, Sannyasa Baba. The Hanumanji used to express through his Guru's Guru. And Hanumanji used to express through his Guru's Guru also. See? Instead, we are on an ego trip. I have to do, I have to realize, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to understand. We never accept. I have to understand means I am still ignorant. And who are you? By nature, Satchidanand Swarup. You are eternal existence, eternal knower, and eternally joyful. So we are falling short. Our assessment is very limited about ourselves. We are coming across the satsang. Upanishad must inspire us, must wake us. Here it came. Uttishta jagrata prapya varanya bodhata. Arise, awake. Oh, that was only 10 classes ago, Swamiji. Now we have gone to sleep again. Can we take that verse again? We need to wake up. Nah. Today's talk is also waking up. But more than the talk, we have to be awake to our own true nature. Not true nature as the wife, mother, daughter, sister. Not true nature as the woman or man or woman. Not true nature as the waker, dreamer or sleeper. Not even the true nature as the witness of the three. I am the supreme Satchidanand Swarup, Parabrahma Paramatma. Nothing short of that. And how I am that? For that you study these Upanishads. This is how you are that. Two meditations came in today's lecture. So apply, sit with these contemplations, ponder over them, and lose yourself in yourself. Nothing to gain. There is nothing. You will not get anything. Tyage naike amritatva manusho. In fact, you will lose everything. Because everything is for ego. Ego is diving to the knower, that who you think you are as a person is trying to know, to meditate upon that infinite principle. Ego will vanish. Individuality will vanish. The world will vanish. Just as in sleep, everything vanishes. That's why we get rejuvenated for the next day. Imagine being rejuvenated every moment for the rest of your life without a break. How inspired, how enthusiastic, how doubt-free, how energetic, with clarity this equipment will function then. If that cannot fire us, then we are the all-knowing principle. अति सूक्ष्मत्वाद दुर्विज्ञेयम इति मत्वा एतम एवार्थम पुनः पुनराह. This Brahma Tattva, this Atma Tattva, it is very subtle, and because it is very subtle, it is an unknowable. Because it is so subtle, so fine, it is unknowable. Unknowable means what? Or Durvijnaya means very difficult to know. Our knowing is objective. So if we are searching for this Atman or Brahman as an objective pursuit, it is very difficult to know. Thinking in this manner, we begin the verse number 4. We'll just read it and look at it in our next verse, next class. Swapnantam jagaritantam, Swapnantam jagaritantam, चोभौ येनानुपश्यति चोभौ येनानुपश्यति महान्तं विभुमात्मानं महान्तं विभुमात्मानं मत्वा धीरो न शोचति मत्वा धीरो न शोचति स्वप्नान्तं जागरितान्तं चोभौ येनानुपश्यति महान्तं विभुमात्मानं मत्वा धीरो न शोचति. In Atma, there is no misery, there is no dukkha. See, what is realization? Dukkha nivritti, sukha prapti. Huh? This comes in our Panchadashi. Dukkha nivritti, sukha prapti. So on one hand, the elimination of misery, and at the same time, no lag period, at the very next. And it is not that we are going to remove, don't think by removal of misery then happiness will come. No, you are of the nature of happiness, Atma is of the nature of happiness, that you are. When you recognize, come to discover that you are of the Satchit Ananda Swarup, at that very moment, dukkha nivritti, removal of misery once and for all. You don't have to work one by one, all the miseries. I get pain from my mother-in-law, I get troubled by my body, I get troubled by my husband, my children don't respect me, I get troubled by hunger, I get troubled. So many different pains. How many things you will work out? But you come to be the self, come to be the Atma, all miseries become null and void in toto. Meaning, it does not mean that they don't continue to express out there in the relative world, but they are unable to influence you. Unable to influence you. The mind may cry, the eyes may shed the tears, but there is no owner of it. Right now, we are the owner of the body. We are owner of the information. We are owner of the words that are coming to our ear. Coming to be the Atmic self, the Satchidanand Swarup self. How can you be the owner? There is nothing to own because you are everything. How can you own anything? Just to imagine, what could it be like? What would it be like? How I am everything? This is how you have to think. We'll look at it in our next class. If I start a little bit, I know I'll go over time. So, it's already time. Yeah. Just sit quietly for 2-3 minutes. I will chant Purnamada Purnamidam and then we'll say Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om, everyone.